Hello, and welcome back to Rick's Skits. We're gonna have a chat. I'm gonna have a change of pace. I think. Got enough aircraft and tanks and bits and pieces for a while. Okay, you'll tend to notice if you actually look at my videos and stuff, you'll see that I'll have a spate of tanks or I'll have a spate of aircraft, and so we're gonna go back in history a bit. And you can see here before you a resin cast bust. I say bust, a figure. It's not a bust. The bust is a shorter version. I think this is a little bit bigger than 32nd scale. Probably around about 1/24th scale-ish, I would have thought. I grabbed this offline. I think it was Colts. I'm not 100% sure, can't be guaranteed, because it was a couple of years ago that I actually 3D printed this. It's one of the only 3D prints I can say that I actually managed to get to print, to be honest with you. I haven't played with 3D printing for a while, so yeah, it's a shield maiden, and as you can see, there's a rock, got part of a sword, which is basically buried in the ground, got a shield, and it's one of those poses that I recognise from something, and I got a funny feeling it's something to do with the Viking series, which was on TV. I think this might be Lagertha. That's it, Lagertha, who was married to Ragnar Rothbrok. He was married to Ragnar. I seem to recall this sort of pose in one of the series parts. Anyway, it's not a highly detailed figure. I mean, you can see from the print on the face, it's quite, but there's enough detail there to work with. She is, she was grey primed. Then we put black over her, or black on her, and then from the top down, she was painted white or sprayed white. So supposed to be that what's the name effect, isn't it? The highlights and shadows. I can never remember the name of things, to be honest with you. My dad was always telling me, write down what you want to say so you don't get stuck and forget. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to start off with all the flesh. It may look a bit ropey to start with, but I'm sure she'll come together. I've got some of my flesh colours that I use all the time with flesh, depending on the size of the figure. I'll either have the two coat. I think it was like one. Let me think about this. It's sort of about 1/48 scale. I'd basically go for flat flesh, then a like flesh wash sort of thing, and then go back over with a flat flesh. With 1/35 scale, I would have the flat flesh wash, and a basic skin tone, or beige red, because you want to start putting the sort of shadow mix around then. For this scale and upwards, and bust size scale, I go for all four of those plus a flesh wash. If I'm not using oils, and oils is a totally different different situation altogether. So I should be using all four of those plus the flesh wash, just to bring out the flesh tones. And then we'll work on all of her accoutrements and a sword and a shield. Shield should be fun because it's wood, made of wood. So yeah, so that's where we're going to be. It's about time I did another figure. Right, I'll catch you in a bit. Hello, welcome back. Okay, as you can see, I've progressed quite a way. It was about 4 hours work there. I'm pleased so far with what I've managed with the flesh and the blonde hair. She's a very angry looking woman. You wouldn't want to get beaten up by her, would you? Oh. So she's got blonde hair. Now the thing with the blonde hair is you're not actually, or I'm not actually, using any kind of yellow paint. What I did do, and I normally do this for my browns, is I started out with the real colour marker brown and painted that as the base for the blonde hair. I'll show you what it looks like. So that's what it looks like to start with. On top of that, a lot of people say don't use washes and all that sort of stuff, but I hit it with the quick shade soft tone just to put some depth, a little bit more reddish, sort of like a reddish brown depth into the hair as the base colour. Now the next paint I used was another Vallejo colour, and that's German Cam Orange Ochre. But basically it's got a yellow base to it, like green in it, and that gives us our deeper. It makes it light. It makes the hair lighter, obviously, but it gives us the deeper colouring in her hair, like up here on the top, as you can see the darkness there. Now, to make sure that we got the transition from the AK brown real colour with the wash on it, it was thinned quite a way. I mean, you can see the test markers and everything on my thumb. Just so you can give it some sort of depth, so to speak, in the colour. And finally, the next colour I then put was buff, which is basically yellow based anyway. To get the different layers of colours, all I've done is I've mixed the German Camo Orange Ochre and the buff to some different transitions on the palette. Let me bring the palette over. My palette's rather messy. So this is the German Ochre. Then you've got combination of the buff and the German Camo Ochre. Then you've got the ochre and a bit more buff to lighten that out. And then we've got buff on its own. And then we used, I haven't got it here with me, to offset the actual highlights, as you can see from, is to use a little bit of off-white mixed in with the buff. Again, very watery mix. There's no sort of deep opacity in it. And what you're doing is, all you're doing is just layering over the top. Each step is layering over the top, but bringing the final transition in. So you're working on less and less space. Then I just use the white stroke buff element to pick out certain strands on the hair. She's getting there. I'm quite enjoying this one, and I hope you like it too. What we've got next, we will be working on her clothing and the leather, etc. There's a fair bit of leather on there. So yeah, that's next up for this Lagertha. Well, I'm going to call her Lagertha. Thank you. I appreciate all you subscribers, especially new subscribers that have come on, and all my old hands. Do appreciate all you guys. We wouldn't have a channel, and I wouldn't be able to showcase some of my stuff on the channel if it wasn't for you guys. I'd just be making them for myself. So once again, I appreciate all of you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.